Firstly, I want to say congratulations to my brilliant friend Julie, my comrade and wonderful professor who's done this amazing book. Now, it's amazing because of the different way in which it has been written, not the usual long-winded that we can do as academics, long-winded way. It's very accessible. Everyone can read it, relate to it, understand it, because what she's explaining is what everyone is going through today. Everyone, I mean everyone. I'm sure it would have given you goosebumps and hair standing on ends when you hear about all the things that have happened, that are happening in just one family. In my family, myself, I've been scammed through a banking online scan your QR code. It looked to me, I'm media literate. It looked to me fairly legitimate, and it wasn't, and all my money was gone. My husband with tickets, buying ballet tickets. My daughter with Facebook Marketplace, selling her computer. My son, likewise, also selling an iPad. So that's 100% in one family, 4 out of 4 scammed. So what Julie is outlining and describing and analyzing, when she gives the horror stats, they're actually very, very real stats. So my comments on the kind of world that we're living in and on the book are a few points. We seem to be living in a non-human world at the moment. Human beings living in a non-human world governed by machinery. That is the age of apps and AI. So our privacy is gone, our data is gone whenever we use these apps, and it's a world full of crookery. So the latest social media landscape report that was released this morning, 2025, interestingly enough, relates to what Julie's just done. The title's called Fake Identities in the Era of Digital Doubles. So whenever we go online, a digital double can be enhanced, our data can be taken, and the crooks are there waiting at the ready. Now, the good part of this whole thing is this digital report has actually shown that trust in social media has gone down. So, whereas it was 58% users of Facebook in 2023, by the time 2024 has come, it was 53%. So a lot of the issue of authenticity and trust is high up on the agenda now, because people have been scammed from various and different things. So Julie, your accessible work and your timely intervention, I hope this book will go far. And it's not just about the publics, but it's also about media studies, as you yourself have said. So the challenge is out there now for media studies scholars to run with this. In terms of audience, learning from audiences. But I have to say, I totally 100% agree that the problem has to be tackled at the level of the big tech. So we in SANEV, as you all know, probably all know, we've taken the big techs to the Competition Commission. We have a report, a draft report from the Competition Commission because of losses of local media. So it's not just about the publics. I mean, big tech has actually been thieving of local media and journalism too. And it's an unfair competition issue. So big tech's responsible for a whole lot of things. I'd like a bit more explanation of how, when you say big tech profits when crime happens on their platform, if you could just explain that a little bit better, that would be great. And as you say, and I also agree, is media literacy going to solve the problem? No, I don't think so. I think because these things are, so delusive, as you use that term, they so similar to what is real. I don't think that media literacy is going to solve the problem. I think pressure on the big techs from civil society, from media organizations, industry or bodies such as ourselves, from publics themselves, and from media themselves exposing this sort of these sort of shenanigans, crime. We could get somewhere by not using the platforms. I'm not sure, because a lot of us rely on Uber today. You're trying to book a place. A lot of us rely on Airbnb. So it's quite a dangerous situation that we are living in. And of course, as you say, the big techs are laughing all the way to the bank. So theoretically, how have I analyzed this? I use the term totalitarianism by the big tech companies, because that's what we're living under now. About 5 big tech companies who are probably the only billion-dollar industry companies in the world making profits. And they rule hegemonically. So hegemony in terms of profits and in terms of smartphone apps and technology. If you're not able to use them, you can't book online for anything. If you're trying to book something, they tell you to book online. So, that's the kind of hegemony I'm talking about. So AI, in the meanwhile, it's all connected, right, with the apps. AI is busy collecting, I say stealing information, storing and regurgitating for other people's use. So it's very serious. As this happens, the scammers are there and the hackers are there waiting to use the opportunity for their fake postings and to lure in unsuspecting people. Big techs won't check and they won't regulate. And this is part of the mania that I've analyzed it as. It's a mania, and they use the excuse of freedom of speech and freedom and freedom of expression, and let freedom reign. But of course, we know what it's about. It's about profit. So yeah, big techs have monopoly. And, as Gramsci used the term of hegemony to mean dominance and rule, that's what we're seeing today. They're having power over others. In other words, power over the whole world, all the people. And then when you get Trump and Musk together, well, then they had a breakup and now they might be making up. We having cultural, political, and economic dominance and hegemony of the big techs. The latest stats have shown that in South Africa, 93% of people use WhatsApp, and even information on WhatsApp's being hacked into so that people's private information can go and they can get scammed. Then it's Facebook and TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and the big 5 are the big 5 tech companies that I'm talking about are owned by Meta, that's Google, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft, and Facebook, which is owned by Meta. And these are the companies that are completely unaccountable to anyone except their profits. So yes, in terms of going, embracing the fight. I mean, it's basically one's got a fight on our hands. We have to look at the issue of the leadership of these big techs, the personas, and the issue of trust, and the issue, of course, of ethics in the world. It's just gone by the wayside because this is allowed. And now there's a steady, as I said, there's a bit of good news on this whole thing. There's a bit of steady decline of the use of the shine has been taken off social media because people are realizing what a complete cesspool, toxic cesspool it actually is. So interesting also is that, whereas Facebook was number 1 a year ago, it's now LinkedIn at 72%. So people are going where they can trust something a bit more. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, but because people are not using it for these binary oppositional politics. You're for this or you're not for this, or people are going there to post things. And it's not an area which seems to be as easily to be scammed as you can be in other areas. Um, so yeah, Julie, well done on your book. The right at the heart of the scams and the crime is actually where the apps are and where we are, and we all use the internet all the time. It doesn't leave you alone. So even if you've searched for a property on Property 24 5 years ago, it's still got your data there. That Glenda once searched for a property in wherever, in the Magaliesburg, and it's still sending you property, even though you don't want it anymore. And the verification loopholes is quite an instructive thing that you mentioned, because a lot of people prior to getting scammed have assumed, oh, it's Airbnb, so it's okay. Oh, it's Uber, so it's okay. Well, it's clearly not okay. Yeah, so thank you very much. I mean, I've got, as I was listening to you, I said goosebumps because I just booked a property, 2 week stay in in the UK via Airbnb, and now I'm wondering, oops. So when I get there, is it going to be real or is it not? Thanks so much, guys.